Ronde was just informed they have upped the budget on the Rondé Barber Show. Would you believe it? We have sound effects now.
Let's hear them.
We got cannon fire, and this is my new personal favorite.
Shut up, Rondé.
Shut up, Rondé. Thank you, John Gruden. Thank you, John Gruden, for finally saying it, by the way.
From the Stream Center, this is the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen. Here's your host, JB Biunno, and Hall of Famer Rondé Barber.
I promise you, JB, there's only one man that I would let say shut up to my face. And it's not you, JB.
I didn't say it. John Gruden said it, but
I
now,
know. He's the only one. He's my coach. He probably told me to shut up 1,000 times over the years.
I have the button now. Here it is one more time.
Shut up, Rondé.
So there it is. I'm not going to use that. We need a shut up, JB
Actually,
button.
we need to figure out a time in every episode when you can just hit that button and say, shut up, Rondé. I don't know. Maybe I'll be bloviating on some nothingness and you just be like,
I can already see the YouTube comments.
You know
People
what?
are like, no, you need a shut up JB button. We're here for Rondé Barber. Welcome to the Rondé Barber Show, of course, with Advent Health, Renewal by Andersen on board with us. Episode 8, Rondé.
Episode 8, week 1, though. This is the start of weekly episodes on the Rondé Barber Show. I just thought about when you could use that shut up, Rondé.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I start to talk bad about Baker Mayfield, you just hit, bam.
Got it. I'll hit it right. You're right there. There it is. John Gruden, who will be on the show now, basically on a weekly basis if I hit that button. But it's a lot of fun to be here, and it's even more fun to begin weekly episodes, Rondé, because the Bucs escape Atlanta with a thrilling victory on a final missed kick by Younghoe Koo in Atlanta. I mean, talk about a thriller. I don't know about you. I jumped.
Let's first of all talk about, I love week 1 of the NFL season.
Yeah.
Hope runs eternal for all 32 teams. And then, reality sets in when like Cleveland's back to 0-1. But the Bucs 1-0. They got a game lead on everybody in the division, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, this was a game, 3 second half lead changes. There was plenty of heroics by both quarterbacks, honestly. Michael Penix, getting his 5th start, his first one of his second year, looked pretty good. And then it came down to some bad kicking.
Yeah, no, on both sides. Yeah, no, Chase McLaughlin with a significant miss there, and then Younghoe Koo. I was, did Todd Bowles, did the timeout, does that work?
I don't know. I was there. I was in the stadium. Younghoe made the kick when he took the timeout, and he actually pulled it to the left. It went through the uprights, but he pulled it to the left, and then obviously the timeout worked because he missed it to the right. But none of that would have mattered if Chase would have made his extra point, which he missed after they scored the touchdown, the second touchdown to Emeka Egbuka. And to be honest with you, I hate when games come down to a missed kick. But if Atlanta had been, and it's easy to, we're Wednesday recording this show. It's
Wednesday morning quarterbacking.
It's very easy to say this now, but if Chase had made that kick and Atlanta had to go down and try to score a touchdown, like it may have been a little bit different. They drove the length of the field, on that last drive and just were running out of time. But shots at the end zone, those are the ones that are heartbreaking because, if they were down by 4 instead of 3, and so they're not trying to tie the game, they're actually trying to win the game, it could have been a little bit different outcome. But all said and done, we got a W. We snuck out of there. It's a road win in the division. Just take it and don't look back.
Enormous, especially after, of course, the outcome against Atlanta last season. Now, you were in Atlanta. What was the feeling in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the aftermath of it? I mean, I'm sure as a Bucs fan, folks elated, but I'm sure Atlanta. That's a deflating loss if you're a Falcons fan.
Right. Well, I tell you this: the first quarter felt like it could have been 21-0 Atlanta. They were on a roll, man. That first drive, obviously. You get the ball to Bijan, and good Lord, he's a tough dude to deal with. And then the next 2 drives, if we wouldn't have gotten stops at key points, I mean, their second drive of the day, Atlanta looked like they were going to just push the length of the field and score again, but then we got to stop down in around the 40 or whatever, and they had to punt. But it looked real easy for Atlanta's offense early in that football game, and then we go 3 and out, and then we go 4 and out or whatever on the next possession. Atlanta had a chance to get on top, and they didn't. So I'll give a lot of credit to Todd Bowles and his defense. They found ways to get those stops early in the game to keep this competitive, because I'm telling you, in that stadium, it felt like it was going to be a blowout early in that game.
Yeah, no. I mean, producer Redfield Jr. Picking the word escape. We escape Atlanta, kind of like escaping New York, or what are the movies? The great movies. But
Escape WFLA.
Escape WFLA. We escaped Atlanta with this victory, and to open up on the road and being 1-0 with a division win, just absolutely enormous for the Bucs. So we'll begin the show here today. Off the top, we're going to ask Rondé Barber his best and worst performances from the Buccaneers on this past Sunday against Atlanta. Do you want to start best or worst?
Let's start with worst. Let's start with worst, because it actually speaks to those early drives in the game. Worst player. Now I have high expectations for Baker Mayfield. Get ready to hit this button, but he was not his best in that game.
Oh, I have it.
Shut up, Ronde.
Well done. He ultimately made 2 of the best throws he's made as a Buck late in this game to Emeka Egbuka. But to me, the worst performance of the day was Servassier Dennis. And I know we did him in the preseason, and he played a lot in the preseason. They had high expectations for him. And that first touchdown to Bijan, he was nowhere near him. Kyle Pitts had a good day against him. Now, he was okay against the run. He played well against the run, but this guy is on the team, and he's a starter on this unit now because of his ability to play in space, and that's what they're looking for. That did not show up on Sunday, and he's got a long way to go to get some redemption in my mind, because there was one play, and it could have ended the game, and this is irking me, because when I watched the film, this really was irking me. That 4th down scramble when Michael Penix ran out to the left and made the dive, and he was kind of out of bounds. He hit inbounds, maybe fumble, whatever. All that happened after that play could have been stopped, except for this guy decided to dive over the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Now, I know there's rules, and you don't want to hit the quarterback, but the game's on the line. Like a personal foul there, if you're trying to stop a running quarterback, and that's a whole nother conversation after what Patrick Mahomes did in that Thursday night game. When he get to the sideline, he starts running over people. But this is 4th down to win the game, and if you go back and watch that play, Servassier dove over Michael Penix. Like he wasn't trying to hit him, and him not hitting him allowed him to get that first down, and then them score the subsequent touchdown that made this a football game. So he didn't play terrible, but he was my worst player of the day for a couple of reasons, but mostly because of that last play on 4th down. Just run through the guy. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. It's a first down anyways, and it's they're 1st and 1 at the 1 anyway, where they ended up. But if he just runs through the runner, the game's over right then. And yet we had to go through all the other stuff at the end of the game. So just saying.
Just curious.
Tape doesn't lie, JB. Tape does not lie. And I would tell this to Servassier, don't put that on tape anymore. That was not good, dude.
So after a play like that, what is it like for the other defenders, either in the huddle or on the sideline? Is it addressed? I mean, what do you think the conversation was like for the Bucs defense when Servassier is having, whether it's a mental lapse or otherwise? What's the conversation like?
It's not. You prop him up. You got to prop him up.
Yeah.
Tell him to keep going. I mean, he's starting for a reason, right? The guy he's got a lot of expectations on him. And I remember our last preseason game on WFLA, me and Chris Myers, he asked me, who has to step up on this defense? And I said, him. Servassier Dennis. We know what Levante David is. We know what our interior defensive linemen are with Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey. We have expectation what we're going to get at edge rusher with Yaya and now Hassan Reddick. Like there's a couple of question marks on defense, and he's one of them. So he has to answer these questions, and that was not a good start to answering those questions. So just go back in the lab, realize that you didn't play well, and go out and try to be better the next day. And if you are, his talent should take over is what I'm saying. He just needs to get it in his head that he can make those type of plays, and ultimately he will. So that's it. All right, let's move on to the best players.
Best player. Now, national media, obviously, they're losing their minds over Emeka Egbuka, and rightfully so.
Of course.
By the way, we were going to load up the clip, but I don't need to. Let me just point out, I was there at Raymond James Stadium. Ronde was at the draft. I was at Raymond James Stadium when the Bucs drafted Emeka Egbuka. I was on the field with thousands of other Bucs fans, and it was a booed pick, okay? And now, man, Jason Light looks like this prophecy maker with a pick that 2 touchdowns in the debut. I mean, so the national media, rightfully so, Ronde, losing their minds over Emeka Egbuka.
So not only are you keeping receipts, Jason Light is definitely keeping those receipts. He wasn't there. He was at One Buck Place's war room doing the picking. But I don't know that he saw the clips. I'm sure he did, probably on social media because they were everywhere. Saw the clips of all the Bucs fans in the stadium starting to boo when we picked Emeka Egbuka at number 19.
Wanting defense. And that, for clarity, folks, the Bucs fans were expecting a first-round defensive juggernaut.
Yes.
And it was people were thinking, wide receiver, we have Mike Evans, we have Chris Godwin. My God, we have Jalen McMillan. We're stacked at wide receiver. What are we doing?
Right. And I think he knew, and now we know exactly what the reasoning was. Chris Godwin was not going to be healthy. Not that they anticipated him not starting the season, but he wasn't healthy at the time of the draft. And yes, you love J-Mac. Who doesn't? I mean, the way he ended last season, you got to expect that he was going to improve. Remember, we had Josh Grizzard on this show, the Rondé Barber Show, the week before the training camp started, and he said the one guy that needs to step up and take on a bigger role was Jalen McMillan. And then as he's starting to do that, he gets hurt in that second preseason game, and all of a sudden you're like, thank goodness we drafted a wide receiver. So best player, absolutely, it was Emeka Egbuka. 4 catches, 67 yards, for a 16.8 yard average and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's a pretty awesome debut for the rookie. And it would be easy to say he's the best player of that game.
But you're not gonna.
That's low hanging fruit. That would me not doing my job as an analyst and actually watching who the best player was on Sunday, and I'm going to tell you who it was. And you're going to be like, what are you talking about? It was another wide receiver, and his name was Sterling Shepard. Go back and watch that game. Sterling Shepard showed up 3 times. He had 3 catches. 2 of them were on third downs, long third downs where he had to make a play. And then there's another crucial play that he made before one of those Emeka touchdowns. Baker, who wasn't his best.
Don't make me hit the button again.
Wasn't his best.
All right. I'll hold one more time so it's clear.
So
Shut up,
Baker threw a ball that he didn't see a guy cutting across. It was going to be an interception. There's no way the defensive back wasn't going to catch this. And I think Sterling Shepard made probably the best pass breakup of the day on either side on this one play. And he incomplete, ball's on the ground, next play or 2 plays later, touchdown. Sterling Shepard showed up when they needed him today. You're down at wide receiver. You got Mike Evans, you got Emeka Egbuka, a rookie, and you got Sterling Shepard, who only starts to show up when they need him. He did it last year down the stretch. He had injuries, right? Sterling Shepard showed up. First game of the year, you down receivers, you got injuries. Sterling Shepard showed up. And it's the little things, man. The little things win games like that. And Sterling Shepard did a lot of little things well. He only had 3 catches, but he had 3 catches on 3 targets, and he had 2 first down catches, the most of any Bucs receiver in the game Sunday. So
the forgotten Buck. Okay. I mean, you're hearing so much preseason buzz, obviously. Mike Evans is obviously always the leader of the wide receiver room and trying to break Jerry Rice's record. You have Chris Godwin on the tip of people's tongues because, you want him to come back because Bucs fans love Chris Godwin and want to see him as healthy as can be. And then, of course, you have the thrilling finish to the season last year, Jalen McMillan, one of the best wide receivers in all of football. And then we draft Emeka Egbuka. Sterling Shepard largely forgot about for Bucs fans.
Right.
So that's nice to have. We should hit the I have other sound effects here, but we should hit the applause button. Where it is. Applause button for Sterling Shepard because nice to see him, Baker's buddy, getting a little bit of a shout out.
His familiarity with Baker is a good thing. It goes all the way back to college now, but his familiarity is a really, really good thing in this offense. And you know what? He's a guy that brings a little bit of that attitude too. If you go around one Buc plays, and I remember the joint practices, the only dude talking that was him. He's an excitable dude.
And let's call him what really a veteran. Truly a veteran wideout for the Bucs too, which is
well, you know what? He's not only that, he accepts his role. Mm-hmm. Right? This is a guy that they continue to move up and down in the practice squad because you have the ability to do that with the new rules in the CBA, where you can move guys into the practice squad, bring them up. Like he like last year, I can't remember if that happened this year or not, but last year he didn't make the 53-man roster, so they put him on the practice squad, knowing that they were just going to pull him up when they needed him. And that's swallowing your pride, man. Like this guy's been in the league for a long time, man. When OBJ got hurt in New York, Sterling Shepard's a guy that stepped up and assumed the role, right? Yep. Became wide receiver 1 up there. And then as you get older, obviously your value kind of diminishes. But for us, we'll take him. His value is huge. He's been hugely important for us over the last 2 years. So
clearly doing the little things. You already mentioned this name, but we have to mention it here again because it's another important but not as much talked about storyline for the Bucs, and that's offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard. Yeah. His first game in the NFL, first regular season game calling plays. How do you think Grizzard did as a play caller in week 1 against the Falcons?
He got better as the game went on, for sure. And I think the one thing that Liam Cohen did really well last year, I thought, was sequence plays. And that's just, your personality as a play caller. It's, understanding how you want the game to work and look and then progress and then calling plays to set up plays later and, keep running plays that work, just repeat plays that work. Like Josh, his first time calling real plays, very first time, right? Not only, Liam did it in college. He took Kentucky back to the precipice in 1 year that he was in Kentucky as the offensive coordinator. He called plays when he was in L.A. Josh Grizzard was which we talked about, we've covered this on the show, was quality control. He was wide receiver coach 1 year in Miami and then went back to quality control and then came to Tampa and was the pass game coordinator. Now, he helped with, setting up plays, but he has never called them in a game. So, look, he's going to get better with reps, and I thought later in that game, his play calling got really, really good. And he started to take advantage of some of the things that Atlanta was doing, and that's the most important part that I took away from his debut game. He got better as the game went on, figuring out how to call plays to attack what Atlanta was trying to do.
Well, isn't that the biggest difference for a regular season game, obviously,
yeah.
In-game adjustments? Because you can call plays all day long in the preseason or even, whether it's practice or a regular season action is completely different and a completely different speed, right?
It's so basic in the preseason. You're calling, day 1 install plays. That's it. Like you're calling duo, which is, the offensive lineman, each 2 guys block the guy on the line of scrimmage, and you run simple plays. You don't call your gap schemes. You don't call the reverse motion. All the nuances that make good offenses good. You don't call those plays in the preseason at all. And so week 1 is really when you get a chance to see that all your stuff is working, and also doing so with 3 new offensive linemen. 2 of them really, but 3 new offensive linemen, 3 guys playing in different spots on the offensive line. Obviously Bredesen, who played left guard last year, was starting at center. Mm-hmm. Mike Jordan, who was on our practice squad, got pulled up to start at left guard. And then our starting center, our rookie Graham Barton from last year, who was one of the best centers in football, goes out and plays left tackle. Like, how, that's putting a lot of trust in 3 new guys up front.
Okay, so on that, This was a lot. This is a little bit of some pregame theatrics from the Bucs, no doubt,
Right.
because this was not announced until, what was it, Red? Maybe, was it an hour before? 15 minutes before kickoff, is that right?
Yeah, on the
15
Bucs Radio Network.
15 minutes before kickoff, it's announced this offensive line shakeup, and that's
Shuffle?
the shuffle, if you will. But
Hey, we got to start a guy named Mike Jordan.
right. By the way, that was kind of cool. hey, Michael Jordan is on the Buccaneers. But I mean, so how much of that was gamesmanship? I mean, what was really going on with that move? Is that a chess move by Jason Light or by Todd Bowles? What's the deal?
Well, you obviously, and I'm not speaking out of turn here. You don't make that decision the day of. It's not like, oh yeah, let's see if Graham can play left tackle today. It's just an emergency. No, they've been working that the entirety of training camp. Obviously, with Tristan Wirfs the entirety of training camp when the media wasn't out on the field. You just don't want to show that. You don't want that to come in anybody's universe that 62 is going to play left tackle at some point and you're going to move 68 to offensive center. Now, there's a reason they did it. We talked all preseason. I think one of our first episodes, we talked about Charlie Heck having to play left tackle because Tristan Wirfs' injury. And he did all preseason. I thought he had actually a pretty good preseason. There was many a times when he looked like he would be able to stand up. That being said, Atlanta invested a lot of draft capital and a free agent addition in edge rushers, especially speed edge rushers. And let's just be honest. Charlie Heck's feet aren't good enough to deal with speed. They're just not. You just putting Baker, the guys protecting Baker's blind side, putting that guy on an island at any point did not seem good. So I'm just telling you now, this has been in the works for a month and a half. Like if you go back and you were, happen to be a fly on the wall at One Buck Place, Tristan Wirfs is standing on the sideline with his crutches, knowing he's not going to play for a couple of weeks. And you go and you see 62 go from center to left tackle, and they're putting in Elijah Klein and Michael Jordan at left guard and seeing 68 Bredesen at center. You're like, what are they doing? Mm-hmm. Now we know what they were doing. They were trying to see if they could cook that up, and they decided to pull it out in week one, and it was very effective. Graham did well. I think he's a better center than left tackle. Obviously, we have the best left tackle in football, and Tristan, whenever he gets back. But he held up really well, man. He's got really good feet. He's quick. He's very intentional. He's a technician. And if anybody cares to go back and watch that film just from an offensive line perspective, you'll see a guy who hadn't ever took a snap at left tackle in the NFL play pretty good at left tackle.
So it was maybe midway through the first quarter, and I just remember thinking, man, I miss big number 78 out there. I really hope Tristan Wirfs is able to make a speeder. I've said this on multiple episodes. My favorite player, man. This guy is an absolute stud on the offensive line, and I just can't wait for him to come back.
He's got great energy too.
Yeah, man.
He just makes the whole.
I love his interviews.
Yeah, he makes the whole offensive line better. And to the point, I didn't make this point. You make that decision, by the way, to shake up the offensive line because you want your best five on the field. And it's interesting that they thought this was their best five. Changing three positions to get two guys in a better spot. That's interesting.
So let's talk about the Bucs' performance as a whole against Atlanta really quickly, because if you went on Twitter, or if you were just listening to Rhett and Garrett rant on in the text thread that I was in over the course of the game, our producers,
these two over here,
these two guys over here, like initial freak out occurring for Bucs fans, both online and in person at watch parties, because I know I have some friends at watch parties that were losing their minds, saying that, oh my goodness, is this the end of our NFC South run, so to speak? Are we watching the beginning of the foundation cracking? Do you attribute that to what I guess they call ring rust, right? The idea that, look, this is a unit that did not get a whole lot of reps in the preseason because the preseason is just different these days? Did it just take some time for the Bucs to get going, or are there troublesome signs that you're concerned about, Rondé Barber, going forward for the upcoming regular season?
I like your boxer reference there, ring rust.
Love it.
Yeah, you don't know how to get hit till you get hit.
Right. I mean,
you don't know how to throw scramble type plays unless you have to. Like Baker wasn't very good to start this game.
Oh wait. Oh no, actually, that's the wrong sound effect. Hey, where's my sound effect? Oh, there it is.
Ronde.
The trombone kind of. Sorry, Baker. Baker, if you're listening, that's fumble of the finger there. Here it is again.
Shut up, Ronde.
That's the actual sound effect I was looking for.
Right. So, to me, this is it is a little bit of ring rust, and there's reasons for that. It's because people don't play in the preseason. I'm sick of people not playing in the preseason. It's ridiculous. Baker, and I'll put it this way. I've described this to my friends a lot, so I'll tell you as well. Baker is he's a gamer, right? He's a gunslinging gamer. You don't get that feel of how he plays the game. We love watching him, but you don't get that feel of how he plays the game in controlled practices, joint practices, where he's not going to get hit and he has no consequences for the inefficiencies. And so I think when guys don't play in the preseason, I'm not saying this is his decision, or this is the only time he's never played in the preseason, by the way. I don't think, and I don't know who made the decision, but I don't think guys that miss the preseason are always quite ready to go. Because Todd Bowles used to talk about it's that time of year. Maybe he said it last year. You get out there, you start smelling the grass, and football's back. But in reality, football isn't back in totality, in its fullness, until week 1, because nobody plays in the preseason. I would never miss a preseason game. I was like, John Gruden be like, this is probably when he told me to shut up. Hey, Rondé, we're gonna have you miss a game in pre. I'm like, the hell you are. I'm taking my reps. I don't care if it's 3 or if it's 6, if it's to halftime. I'm taking my reps. I need to know what it feels like to play in a game. I don't want to go into the regular season with ring rust. I don't want to have to get hit in the face for the first time when it matters, whether you win or lose a game. So that's why we started slow. It was slow. It was lethargic. It didn't look like we weren't sharp, man. For a team that has such high expectations, we were not sharp to start that game. Now, we got hit in the mouth. We did. We got hit in the mouth. And eventually, that plan comes together once you get hit in the mouth. Now, that being said, the Falcons are a better football team. They are a better football team. Take away Younghoe Koo's miss at the end of the game, and this team's got something to deal with.
I want to be clear. So are you saying that the Falcons are a better football team than last season, or better than the Bucs?
They're better than last year.
Okay.
I don't think they're better than the Bucs. They can't run the ball on offense. They still can't really get pressure on the quarterback, even though they invested in three different guys. They got some good players though, and their defense plays fast and hard. You put the film on, their defense plays fast and hard. The Falcons are going to be something to deal with. They got a big game this week at Minnesota. They definitely don't want to start 0-2. Not that we care, because we're Bucs centric on this side of the East Coast. But they're going to be a good football team.
All right. So real quick, before we go to break for just a moment, and we're going to come back because we have a lot more to talk about here on the Rondé Barber Show. Looking around the league, the biggest threat to the Bucs in the NFC South are
Atlanta. I mean, New Orleans was competitive versus Arizona, but Spencer Rattler got hot late. They're not great. They're just not the same. And Carolina was not competitive at Jacksonville. Quarterback's just not good enough, man. I think his ceiling is just not very high. They got some good players. Ted McMillan had a great day. That wide receiver for Carolina, he's going to be a good football player, but I don't think overall they have much talent. The challenger in the NFC South is a team we played last week.
Makes the win all the more meaningful. Of course, the Bucs will be playing the Falcons at home at Raymond James Stadium later on this season. The Rondé Barber Show will be back right after this.
You're watching the Rondé Barber Show, sponsored by Renewal by Andersen, superior products, exceptional service, and by Advent Health, the exclusive hospital of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's 16-year NFL star Rondé Barber. And a guy who thought Rondé Barber was tiki until last week, Biunno.
I'm still not sure.
Still not sure.
Oh,
one of us has graying facial hair, and the other one just chooses to use his Gillette to shave every morning.
There it is.
The difference.
No.
That's the difference.
I mean, you are Ronde, right?
I am definitely.
What if you swapped out every week? Would I know?
Tiki has nowhere near the personality that I have. Kidding me?
And he's on the radio every day, isn't he?
He's on the radio every day. He does not have the cojones to say that Baker got off to a very slow start last week.
Right. Talking about his own team.
I'm trying to set you up to hit this shut up Ronde.
Shut up, Ronde.
Thank you. God.
I've hit it. You said to hit it once per show.
Rhett, I think you need to get in here and take his spot.
You said hit it once per show, and now we're on the fifth or sixth time.
I told you, every time I say Baker didn't have a good start to the game,
shut up, Ronde.
I want you to hit that button.
There it is. Every time you say for the remainder of the season, I'm going to be quick on the trigger. Was trying to be kind, trying to be the nice guy in the room, and Ronde's like, no.
You know what? I need more people to tell me to shut up. So thank you.
There it is. You know what? Let's continue on. Just talking. We have a lot more to talk about with the NFL, but we got to hit on this one league storyline involving the Bucs because it involves a player that's been with the Bucs for several seasons now, and that's we got to talk about Jamel Dean here for a second because contract restructuring. He will be a free agent, taking less money. And will be a free agent in 2026. What's the word on this at One Buck Place? What are you hearing?
I think he was in a real competition with Benjamin Morrison at the start of the season. He was taking Benjamin Morrison was taking first team reps at the start of camp. I think when you look at Jamel Dean, he signed a big contract a couple of years ago. He's making almost $13 million a year. And if you look at how he produced in his injuries, he's probably, is he worth that? I mean, I don't know. We paid it to him. We thought he was worth it at the time. But the reality is they drafted 2 corners in the second round. We talked about that. We talked about the boos when we drafted Emeka Egbuka. Well, their plan was to draft defense, which they did. They drafted corners in the second and third round. Then they drafted a defensive end, David Walker, in the fourth round. Obviously, he got hurt. And then Elijah Roberts later on in the fifth round. So, they went defense. But their goal was to get better in the secondary, and part of that was drafting these corners. Benjamin Morrison and Jacob Parrish from Kansas State, who has played. He played well in the preseason. He played well in his first professional game last week at Atlanta. And I think just the writing was clear. What they were telling Jamel Dean, we are trying to replace you. And I've had many coaches over the years who have told me this, and Mike T was the one that said it the loudest. Dude, the NFL is we're going to tolerate you until we can replace you league. That is what it is. It's trying to get rid of you. The NFL wants you to fail ultimately. And I'm not saying in reality, but it's asking you to fail. If you don't produce, if you don't show that you're worth it, they're gonna find guys to replace you. The Bucs drafted 2 corners this year, so they're in their mind they're replacing their cornerback. You know, it's not Zion. Zion just signed a 3-year, $48 million extension right before the game, which was smart by the Bucs because if they would have let this guy play out his year, and I think he's going to have a good year, Zion, his price tag's going to go way through the roof. So I think this was almost a take it or leave it. It got announced, after the game, but this happened. This happened right at cutdown day for the Bucs. When it just took a while for it to be reported here from our beat guys. But I think the reality is his replacements are in the room, and so if you're Jamel Dean, this is smart because you're now in a prove it year, right? You got 1 year prove it year. You get to be a free agent after this year. So you either play really well and cash in again, or you don't, and both parties are happy.
I think this kind of, it's strange to say, but does this work out for all parties? Yeah. Jamel Dean gets to explore free agency and maximize his earnings potential on a free market. In the free market, you have the Bucs, who probably I mean, fact or fiction, they're going to get the best version of Jamel Dean this season because he's playing for a contract now.
You were saying yes.
And then also, too, it's a true vote of confidence in Morrison and Parrish, correct? Because now you have your future corners on rookie deals for in essence, the next several seasons. Right. So does this work out for everybody in an odd way?
Yeah, and I'll clarify, for at least the next 4 years, right? Including this year, 4 years with those two young corners. They won't be on 5 years. So you can actually, because they're second and third round picks, you can sign them whenever you want to. And if you want to do the cap math, that their contracts, unless they really just have breakout type careers early, those contracts will be favorable. This was smart. This was a smart cap move by the Bucs, and his willingness, Jamel Dean, I'll give him credit. His willingness to do this is I think pretty awesome for him and the team, because yes, he does get to prove it. You said it perfectly. He gets to prove it. He's going to be coveted, whatever happens, because of the combination of his size and speed. But he's in a position where he has to produce. And what more do you want? I'll say it again. The NFL is going to tolerate you till they can replace you. That's it. All these fans that talk about players and, this guy should be this guy should be that. Dude, the NFL is tolerating your ass. They want to get rid of you. They want to get rid of you. I'm telling you. So go prove it. That's the only way to do it. Just go do it. Prove it.
Real quick, just off the cuff, first thought that comes to mind: who has impressed more so far this season, Morrison or Parrish?
Parrish. He's very, very versatile. He can play inside. He can play outside. There's a play. He had a tackle for loss in this game. He's playing the nickel, and his movement making this wide receiver miss and hitting the little pop pass, the now pass in the backfield. It was like, that's some special stuff, man. Like, the guy does some special stuff. Now, Benjamin Morrison, has a lot of ball skills. The game makes sense to him. You can see that when in practice, when you watch him. I think he's going to be a really good football player. He just needs to get healthy. He needs to get on the football field. And I think the word on the street is that he might be close to coming back. I don't know if it'll be this week or next week, but he is starting to practice again. So,
and I should have rephrased that. But the question I meant to ask was, who are you more excited about going forward?
Well,
because
I'll take the nickel.
obviously,
I'll take the nickel back, dude. Give me the guy that plays inside and does all the dirty work, man.
Let me let me give some folks some insight. We had a pre-pro call with Ronde on Monday, and we asked, hey, Ronde, watching football over the weekend, give me what's the storyline, the NFL storyline that you got most fired up about, other than the Bucs. and what's so funny is that Ronde's like, NFL, what are you talking about? How about USF, baby? How about USF upsetting Florida in the swamp?
Dude, that was the story. Saturday, I had a long Thursday and Friday. I'm not going to lie. I was in Atlanta playing golf. So Saturday, I sat around and watched college football all day long. And this was, actually, I watched tennis too. But this was the game I was looking to watch. There wasn't a lot of great games. And then the Oklahoma-Michigan game ended up being a dud. So this was the game of the day. And to watch USF do this 2 weeks in a row, take down giants of college football, was pretty awesome. And then, obviously, my ex-teammate's son, Nico, getting a chance to kick the game-winning field goal, that was pretty sweet, man. That was pretty sweet. By the way, shout out to USF for hiring Rob Higgins as the CEO of athletics.
There it is.
My guy, Rob. Thank you.
Rob.
Congrats to Alex Golish and the USF Bulls, man. Not only are they competing, they're winning against top competition. That shows you their investment into their programs. Man, I couldn't be happier for the hometown team here. And I have no rooting interest for USF other than I've been here for 28 years. But it's awesome to see them take off. And I don't know what to say about Napier's 20-20 and 40 games. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Uh-oh is what we could say. So the other one, and then on the pre-pro call, you were all fired up about what you saw at Lambeau with Green Bay and Micah Parsons wearing green and yellow. Weird for sure. But you were pretty fired up with what you saw out of this game, and also Dan Campbell and the Lions look disjointed. It's a bit odd to see a team that has looked so well put together the last couple of seasons, especially. really last 3 seasons plus,
Right.
and now all of a sudden, wow, the Packers look good.
Dude, they're this firm validation that they are contenders, and we know how tough the NFC North has been over the past years because Detroit has hit their upside. Packers have been, they were in the NFC Championship game twice, in the early part of this decade, and now they look back. That was a dominant game. They were easily my most impressive team. Least impressive, the Dolphins got blown out by the Colts.
Wow, the Dolphins look bad.
Got blown out by the Colts. Are you kidding me? Danny Dimes. Just saying.
Okay,
I got some receipts.
So we got some receipts. We got some receipts as far as.
I'm not saying it's about the Dolphins being bad, which they were, but the Colts scored on every possession that they had it on offense. Every possession. Every one. Daniel Jones, man.
Come on now. Now, look, to our Apple Podcast and Spotify audience, we're gonna go back in time. This was from this past summer, well before preseason. Moving on, the former New York Giant, Daniel Jones, relocating to Indianapolis, is going to play for the Colts. Your
Danny
thoughts?
Jones, man. So he joins a competition with Anthony Richardson, who, I don't think he can do it. Look, they
stay healthy.
Right, he can't stay healthy. He has 69 starts. He brings more experience than Anthony Richardson has. He also has a little bit of a dual threat. People don't remember this, but his mobility compares to what Anthony Richardson does already. So if he's healthy and if he wins, not saying this is going to happen, but if he's healthy and if they win, because they got a lot of talent on their team. Running back's good. Their defense is pretty good. They got great receiving core. Pittman, Alec Pierce. If he starts and they play well, comeback player of the year. Just saying that right now.
Wow. How's that for okay, so now let me hit the applause button. Look at the sound effect right this time. There, Rondé Barber, who
it's only 1 week, but
Danny Dimes looks good.
22, 29, 272 yards and a touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Man, oh man.
I'm not saying I'm Nostradamus. Nostradamus, but
Nostradamus. We need a new segment, Nostradamus. So that brings us to our brand new segment on this show, everybody. And are we gonna have some fun with this, Ronde and I? Even though I'm gonna get slaughtered, but this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is a brand new segment on the weekly Rondé Barber Show, which of course we record on Wednesday mornings, and you can find it, of course, on all your favorite platforms, including the free WFLA app for your TV. After, of course, we record the episode, but this is an homage to Rondé Barber and, of course, his illustrious career. We call this segment the Pick Six, where we're going to make 6 picks. Each one of us is going to make 3 picks: a favorite for this upcoming week, okay, a favorite, an underdog, and then we're going to pick the Bucs game. All right. So each one of us now, we're going to keep score all season long. Each one of us has to pick based on Vegas odds, a favorite to win, an underdog to pull off an upset, and then, of course, we're going to pick the Bucs game. So here are my week 2 picks, and let's get into this, okay? There is no way in the world the Ravens are going to go 0-2. They are too complete of a football team. Lamar Jackson is way too talented of a player. I love what I saw from the Ravens for the most part, really up until the closing minutes of the fourth quarter, in what was an amazing, just thrilling game, the best game of the week against the Bills. The Browns are not coming in and beating the Ravens at M&T Bank. It's just not happening. So give me the Ravens as the favorite to win this week. And now, okay, the comment section, I'm sure. Okay, easy pickings.
Easy pick. I don't think mine are much different. Mine are pretty easy pickings too.
All right, so Ronde and I are trying to build a lead here. We're trying to get a lead here with this new segment. All right, so my pick is the Ravens. As far as an upset, look. We talk about all the time in the league how there's contenders and pretenders. I'm sorry. The Vikings to me just scream pretenders right now, and I understand that they are one of the best coached football teams and one of the most well-run organizations. I get all that, but you're going to tell me that through 3 quarters you have J.J. McCarthy throwing for 56 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. And you're going to tell me that the new speed that we talked about with the Falcons defense, while the defense didn't blow us away at Mercedes-Benz Stadium against the Bucs this past weekend, I think the Falcons are going to pull off the upset against the Vikings. I think the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy go through a similar trajectory as Caleb Williams had with the Bears, Ronde.
Yeah,
you remember
Caleb?
Pains. Yeah, Caleb Williams won his first game, and then it was just growing pains from that point forward.
I actually like both of your picks. Ravens, yes, they are going to just put the Browns where they're supposed to be, even though the Browns defense played pretty well last week against Cincinnati. I think I don't know how many yards they gave. It was actually a better game than it looked. And if they don't have a boatload of drops, the Cleveland Browns, they might have upset them last week. But the Falcons beating the Vikings, dude, I think that's a good call.
I
think that's a really good call. Are we going to save the Bucs till last, or are we going to let him pick the Bucs Texans before I go?
All right, so why don't we? Yeah, no, you call the shots. It's your show. So do you want to move on to your picks now?
Let's move on to my picks.
Okay, so we'll come back to this.
Yeah, we'll save next week's till the end. All right, I got good stuff here. So my picks, my underdog is listed first here, by the way, and I'm going with the Colts. I'm standing on my early Daniel Jones prediction again.
You love Danny Dimes?
I love Danny Dimes. Dude, they have a bevy of wide receivers, man. They got Pittman Jr., they got A.D. Mitchell, they got Alec Pierce, and Tyler Warren might be the most dynamic tight end in football. I mean, obviously it's week one. He is, I mean, Brock Bowers is what he is out in Las Vegas, but this dude is unbelievable. They lined him up in the backfield and handed the ball off to him twice last week. He is a special player. And then Daniel Jones just operates the offense. He's just so efficient. I mean, 22 of 29. So they go on they playing the Broncos, and they're home dogs. The Colts are home dogs against the Broncos. And the Broncos, it was a 1-point game going into the fourth quarter against a bad Titans team last week. Bo Nix struggled. Lou Anarumo was the new coach for the defensive coach for the Colts. He's going to find a way to take away their one target, Cortland Sutton, for Denver, and they're going to win. This is going to be an upset at home for the Colts. All right, low hanging fruit again. I'm taking the Rams to beat the aforementioned worst team in football. They should pound this team on the road, man. First of all, they have too much talent on offense. Puka Nacua.
Puka was awesome.
Oh my God!
Right? Did you watch that? I watched a little bit of that game.
Devontae Adams. I mean, look, they're just Kyron, the running back. If there's a guarantee out there, is that Matthew Stafford, who just get ready to hit the applause button here, who just crossed the 60,000 yard passing threshold this week.
I'm double checking my sound effects now, by the way. There's the applause button.
Is going to destroy the Titans on defense. I couldn't tell you a player on the Titans defense. I can't, top of my head, I can't think of a name of one other than Simmons. But I do know Simmons. That's the only player I can think off the top of my head on Tennessee's defense. So Tennessee is trying to validate their second-year head coach, and they got a rookie quarterback, dude. There is no way that the Rams don't win on the road.
Real quick, can I gush about Puka? Like John McClane in Die Hard. I mean, right. getting beat up out there, right. Has the blood coming down his face, looks like he's in an 80s or 90s action movie. Exactly. And then the news breaks that he's being evaluated for a concussion. You're thinking, all right, he's with the way that the league is now, he's done. He's coming back out there, he's throwing blocks. He might be one of the most physical receivers in football and one of the most gifted.
It's impossible for him not to be everybody's favorite receiver.
Dude,
if you just watch the way he plays football.
Unbelievable.
I talk about NFL trying to tolerate you to replace you. I think people are going to tolerate that dude for a long time if he keeps playing like that, man. I know he's only in his third year, but it feels like this guy, it just continues to get better and better. Man, I love Puka Nacua. He's awesome.
Too. Absolutely. Superstar, for sure. All right, so now it's time to pick the Bucs game.
You
want to go first or want me to go first?
You go first.
All right, so let's bring back my picks, Rhett, and Look, the inaugural version of this, I cannot, for the first time, week one of this, or really, it's week 2 picks. But the first time that we're doing this segment, I can't pick against the Bucs. I think the Bucs were a little bit in preseason mode in week 1. I think that they go into Houston and they pull it out at NRG Stadium. On Monday Night Football, by the way, how excited are we for Monday Night Football with the Bucs?
Indeed.
Once again on primetime, even though Garrett has brought up, one of our producers here, Garrett, has brought up how the Bucs are just absolutely horrendous when it comes to these types of games on national television. But look, hopefully the Bucs can snap out of that funk.
Right. All right. My pick is definitely the Bucs. When was the last time you saw Todd Bowles get excited in a post-game locker room? He's doing it after week 1. This team is on a mission this year. Now there's some caveats to this game. Emeka and Evans, Mike Evans, got probably their toughest corner combination of the year. Derek Stingley Jr. and Kamari Lassiter are really good players. So, Baker, you can't start slow.
Oh wait, is that a cue for sound effect?
Every time I say something bad about Baker,
you didn't say something about Baker.
Baker.
It was words of you're foreboding there. But all right, let me hit it.
Shut up, Ronde.
Just making sure.
Yeah, dude, this is going to be a defensive game. I mean, Texans, if you watch them play defense, they beat the crap out of you, man. They are fast. They have 2 great edge rushers, so 2 great corners and 2 great edge rushers in Will Andersen and Danielle Hunter, and we don't have Tristan Wirfs. So that way aforementioned to go offensive line reshuffle needs to play really well, but I think they can. Nico Collins is the only real threat, so there's a premium matchup in this game. It's going to be Zion McCollum versus Nico Collins. I cannot wait, but I think the Bucs go on the road and get this win. It's Monday Night Football. I can't wait to watch it.
Got to watch out for Will Andersen, man. Will Andersen Jr. Just got just especially without Wirfs out there and just the offensive line still figuring things out. For the Bucs, Will Andersen's a game wrecker potentially, so we got to watch out for him on Monday Night Football. But here it is. Here's the final graphic. So I have the Ravens, Falcons, and Bucs, and Ronde has the Colts, Rams, and Bucs. Well, of course, we'll be keeping score over the course of the season, and really, let's call it what it is. It's a Hall of Famer against a Joe Schmo over here trying to pick games. But we'll see we'll see if I can keep up with the one and only Rondé Barber Hall of Famer. We'll be back with Ask Rondé right after this.
It's time for you to Ask Rondé, sponsored by Advent Health and Renewal by Andersen.
Welcome back to the Stream Center. It's time for Ask Rondé, where you can submit questions on AskRondé.com and earn the chance, a pretty good chance, by the way, of winning some signed swag just from sending in a question to the show, to be on the show, to be on the Rondé Barber Show. Now, we have a little bit of a PSA to get out of the way here.
Some qualifiers, some quid pro quos.
On the last episode 7 of the Rondé Barber Show, we pulled a name out, and the name was actually of somebody who did not live in the Tampa Bay area. There's fine print on the website that you have to live in the Tampa Bay area to win signed swag from Ask Rondé, that contest. And so we called the gentleman up, and he was completely understanding. But that means Rondé, that the John Gruden and Rondé Barber signed football is still a prize to be given away.
So I need to pick the a white, right? Is that the name? No, the names are.
Let's get to a question first, and then let's pick some names here at the end. And let's get to first up. This is Tony.
All right. Hey, Ronde. My name's Tony. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, okay. There's the week 1 question. So week 1 is in the books, and Tony wants to know who's gonna win the Super Bowl.
Thanks, Tony, for your question. I want to say the Bucs. I'm not going to say they're not going to play in the Super Bowl, but I'm going out on a limb and saying Buffalo is inevitable.
Wow.
This is their year, dude.
To break that curse.
This is their year.
If you will. Yeah.
This is their year. They're playing one of the teams, or they're playing in one of the cities of the teams that beat them during that 4-year run of Super Bowls that they lost. They're playing in the Super Bowl is in San Francisco, Santa Clara. Not actual San Francisco, Santa Clara. But Buffalo is that team, man. After that game, watching Josh Allen, completely force his will on a really good Ravens team on Sunday night. I mean, that game, by the way, is probably going to be probably a precursor to the AFC Championship game. Those are the two best teams in the AFC right now. Start the season, coming off last season, the two winner and runner up of the MVP with great complementary players. That's going to be the AFC Championship game, and I think Buffalo is going to go to the Super Bowl and win. That's my take.
Let's sneak in one more question. This is from Bucco Libre.
Hello, Ronde. This is Bucco Libre, Buck fan. Tell us, what Tampa needs to do to become great in the Tampa 2 again?
Ooh, Tampa. Well, Tampa 2, just to clarify, Tampa 2 know the base defense that we played like 40% of the snaps. That not a lot of teams do that anymore. However, if you watch my film session presented by Microsoft, but through the Bucs, selfish plug. I draw up a lot of Tampa 2 defenses. Teams still run it all the time. They just disguise it. We just got lined up and said, I dare you to beat us in this defense. Now teams find ways to disguise it and still get into Tampa 2. But how does this defense get back to doing what they're doing? We'll never be back in Tampa 2. It's just we're a 3-4 defense. So we don't have the real setup to run Tampa 2 the way that we ran it back in the day. But I can tell you, the one way that defense is successful, and I've been saying this, and I'll never stop saying this, it starts up front. If you got good pass rush, you can run as simple a defense as you want. So to answer your question, pass rush. You have to be able to rush the passer for any of those type of defenses to work.
So here's with the Tampa 2, you know what it reminds me of? Michael Jordan's triangle offense. It was like it was so good in the day, and now the game has kind of moved on in a way.
That's a great, that's pretty good.
It was
analogy.
a legendary strategy, and now it has been retired, and it will live on forever.
It shows up like twice a game, right? Like, oh, that little triangle, and then you're like, no, now it's just one-on-one.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? I'm feeling this. I want to get fans excited. Let's save the John Gruden and Rondé Barber football for the next episode. Submit. You have my word. Next episode, we are giving away the John Gruden and Rondé Barber signed football. Send in questions to AskRondé.com. A selfie video question for Rondé. Be on the show. We'll draw the football next week.
I like that tease. That football can't go to New Jersey. That is
that's where the guy was.
Fact.
So but let's still give away some swag this week. So one of each color. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Rhett, you need to figure out some spinning the wheel music.
Yes, we'll get that. We need spinning the wheel music for next.
And we got to figure out how to get my co-host to hit the right button.
Which button?
You gotta make sure you hit the button for the music.
Oh yeah, no, I do. My buttons are all. I gotta figure out the buttons.
My guys,
to the fans in the YouTube comment section, be easy on me. I'm figuring out the sound effects. All right.
It's week 1. I mean week 8.
Getting skewered here.
All right. The prize is a 50th season pennant.
Ooh. Okay.
Obviously signed by yours truly.
And the name you draw?
The name is
Drew?
Oh wow. Goodness. Who wrote these names, by the way? Because I got Joshua. The last name, I know I'm going to mess this up. Y'all are doing this on purpose to me.
Give it a go, Ronde. Do your best.
I'm going to spell it first. Zwoface. So Zwoface?
Okay, there it is. Joshua.
Zwoface? Yes.
Everyone out there listening, if you have a really difficult to pronounce last name, can you send in Ask Rondé questions to AskRondé.com just so we can make Rondé read ridiculous last names on the show? We really appreciate it. All the questions that we get from you, our fans listening and watching in Tampa Bay and across the country. Really appreciate you. For the Rondé Barber Show, Rondé, we're now in weeklies.
Weeklies, baby. See y'all next week.
Wednesdays, folks. The Rondé Barber Show. You can catch it right here on WFLA. Thanks for joining us.